A very good evening to all of you. Dear monastic members, Dharma friends who have gathered here to listen to this Dharma talk. Today we are going to discuss about a very valuable, very timely and very influencing topic to all of us in our daily life. Buddhist wisdom on managing anger in the moment, not in the future, in the moment. So before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. All right, so there are a lot of things in the Dharma teachings about how to become a better person in life. One of them is greed. We know in our daily life, time to time, greed arises. Lobha, we call it L-O-B-H-A, lobha arises. And then more than the lobha, greed, anger, hatred, conflicting emotions arise. And when these two arise, we don't know what we do. We call it moha, delusion. And we understand that when someone is very greedy about what one has, or what there are two types of greed actually. One is abhijja. Abhijja means the greed that we have for what we own: money, education, reputation, loved ones, things that we have earned over the course of a long time. So we naturally have a tendency to develop a greed unless we are very mindful about it. That is called abhijja in Pali. Maybe I can write down later so you will understand more. And then time to time we may have a different type of greed. We call it visama lobha. Visama lobha. Visama lobha means greed for what other people own. Sometimes we may have a greed when we look at other people's success, we feel greedy about what they have in their life. This is called visama lobha. These two are destructive for us. So that's why the Buddha said that lobha is the reason for the craving as well. When the lobha is developed to a higher level, we call it even tanha, craving. But today we are more focused on dosa, D-O-S-A. Dosa has different degrees. The starting point is krodha, anger. Anger is the starting point. Perhaps I can write down, otherwise you might not understand. Right? All right. Good. Now we have lobha, dosa and moha. In English we call greed, hatred and delusion. Anger is the primary emotion of this dosa. We call it anger, or in Pali we call it koda. It is a very primary emotion with regard to the hatred. There are other levels of anger. There is one called revenge. We call it upanaha in Pali. There are people, when they are angry, they keep the anger for longer time. Then that anger will become a revenge, right? So anger, revenge. And then there is another level of dosa, we call it resentment. In Pali we call it aghata. Aghata. There is another higher level of dosa. We call it ill will. Ill will mean vyapada. So there are many levels of dosa. And one of them is anger. It's a pretty basic, the basic level of anger. But it can cause the further levels. So it's a pretty destructive emotion if we don't know how to manage it. Because as long as we are unenlightened or we have a good practice, we may respond to events, sources of anger differently. Now we are going to learn about the sources of anger. Why we are getting angry. That's interesting. Huh? The more we understand the sources of anger, the better we can manage our dosa, anger over here. One very popular reasons to be angry among many is unmet needs. They are expecting a lot of things, but the expectations don't happen, right? Let's start from hunger and thirst. When you are very hungry, what is the emotion that is going on in you? It's mostly that you don't tolerate what's happening. You don't tolerate other people. You don't tolerate other people's ideas. You are going to explode. But when you eat that particular meal, you feel a little bit okay. So that means anger not only arises because of other people, because of other things, but also it arises for our own physical problems. So that means do not skip your meals. The easiest thing. Never skip your meals. When you skip your meals, I mean, unless you go for a brunch, breakfast and lunch together, it is better to have your meals at the right time. Even the doctors say that, right? Doctors say, don't skip your meals. You may get some gastritic issues and all that. So, unmet needs, physical needs. Sometimes when you have a sickness, because of the sickness, you tend to be angry. So, you have to understand, take your medications. If you have a health problem, take your medications. If you have a mental problem, take your medications. Right? Otherwise, you have a problem which you don't know. So unmet needs, we have to understand that we are addressing our needs properly. That's number one. Other people are not involved in becoming angry as such. Now when you have a very good practice, when you practice Dharma very well, the most prominent characteristic, the quality that you have is you can tolerate longer. You can tolerate a lot. You can be patient a lot. Now this leads to becoming a more patient person, right? When you have low anger, when you can manage anger, you becoming more and more patient. You can't be patient without working on that side. So this is one source, unmet needs. So you have to work on whether you approach your self-care and then your other things in terms of your life. Second is frustration, disappointments, frustrations. I remember the first time I missed my flight, long time ago, 2016. I missed a flight for the first time in my life. And I was a little bit confused now what to do. And I know that it is not my problem. It is a flight that I came from the US, New York to Toronto. And then I missed my flight because there was a tornado that was going in somewhere in North Carolina area. So it's their problem. So I was thinking now I had a plan in my place where I was going to fly, Victoria. I had a plan to go somewhere. I was thinking probably this missed flight is an indication of something better than my trip that I planned. Anyways, so they said you have two choices. There is no direct flight to Victoria until tomorrow evening. Either you go to Vancouver and we give you hotel accommodation, and then there we will provide you another flight. And I went to Vancouver and they gave me a 5-star hotel accommodation, which costed $700 if I pay for it. I never stayed in a 5-star hotel at that price. I mean, not looking for the luxuries. Things happen. So just hang on, be patient. Good things are coming on the way. So each frustration has to be reviewed, evaluated. Don't be frustrated. Yes, it can disappoint you. It can frustrate you, but the good things are coming. We don't know. We just have to wait and then see what's happening. This is about a flight, and there are many things in your life. Maybe you will lose people, your beloved ones will go away from you, maybe you may have a financial problem. Things will be okay. But you have to do your part. Your part is be patient, just do your necessary things. There are people who are waiting until somebody will give them everything. As Buddhists, we are not doing that. We have to do our part. So frustration, it's a very big topic, but I just wanted to tell you it's one of the sources. Stress is another reason. Stress. That means you can't handle what's happening within you, with your work, with your loved ones and other things. Actually, stress is a very big issue in today's world because things have been very easy for all of us. You can order food very fast, you can buy products very fast, and things have been very fast. In a very fast-paced world, there are a lot of demands being created due to the needs of other people, right? So when you are dealing with certain things in your life, you don't need to be stressed out. You need to find a way out for the problem, because there is one way people get some sicknesses from stress issues. The doctors have long time before found out that you get sugar issues, diabetes, because of the stress. They are seeing a medical scenario. That means when you are too stressed out, what's happening is that then at the moment when you are so stressed out, there are a lot of adrenaline hormones are being issued from your brain. Then because of that discharge of lot of adrenaline hormone, that attacks your insulin quota that are deposited in the pancreas. When the insulin deposits are being attacked by the excessive amounts of adrenaline hormone, insulin percentage will become sugar, not become insulin anymore. And then that sugar level goes everywhere in our body, throughout the body, and all the organs are attacked, and people get diabetes without a food problem. So definitely our emotions have a direct relation to our health. So if you have a stress, understand, find a solution not always talk about the problem. Normally our ways, we focus more about the problem. We don't look for the solution. If you have a problem, work problem, other people problem, your own problem, try to find out solutions. That will reduce the unnecessary stress. Another reason for getting angry, among others, is a threat to self-esteem, criticism, rejection, things like that. Normally we carry some level of ego. When someone is criticizing us, blaming us, we tend to respond to them, react to them actually, pretty bad. We have to learn from the Buddha. Buddha has a very cool concept. The concept is, we call it anatta. If we learn about this Buddhist concept, anatta means not self. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. What does anatta mean? Anatta means there is no self that we have to take when we are dealing with our own emotions. Let me explain to you. Someone blames you 1 hour ago for whatever the reason. And then you are thinking, I was blamed by this particular person. I was criticized by this particular person. I should not have been criticized. I should not have been blamed by that person. But according to this anatta concept, let's say you were criticized around 7:55 p.m. and now it's almost 8 or 10 p.m. and the self that you had at 7:55 p.m. is not existing anymore at 8:10 p.m. This is a previous self, and now it is a new self that is anatta, not self. So why we have to worry? If there is a certain issue you are creating, you're going to apologize, but you don't have to worry about it. So always keep your self-esteem in a good understanding about what's happening around you. That's very important, because if you learn about anatta, you will never fall prey to those hatred emotions, because you know that was your previous self and you are a new self. Because you are not taking self as self, you're taking it as a not self. So one of the reasons why many people getting angry is what you call esteem, threat to the self-esteem. There are many reasons, right? Lack of control, and pretty much I would say the biggest source of getting angry is not having a consistent practice. That is the most important thing to learn. Not having enough practice. Now let me tell you something little interesting. The Buddha said there are 3 angry people. 3 angry people. And then how their anger lasts. The first one is someone whose anger, who gets angry, but that anger stays longer, many years even. So we call it rock anger. What is it called? Rock anger. Rock anger means that anger is similar to a rock. Because when you write something, carve something on a rock, it is not going to be erased, right, for many centuries. There is another person who gets angry, but his anger only stays for a short time. So that anger is like soil anger. That means you write down something on maybe on sand. This might stay for a couple of hours. It will be erased because of people are moving here and there. We call it soil anger. And there are others who get angry, But at the same time, anger disappears very fast. That anger is called water anger. So we have to try to become at least this person. We have to bring our anger at the very least to this level, water anger. Ideally speaking, it is better not to respond to anybody with anger, ideally speaking. But at the moment, we should try at least to come to this point. Because if you understand the sources of your anger, then you will minimize your anger right away. Okay. Any questions you have about things that I discussed so far? No questions. You are eager to learn about how to overcome the anger, right? Okay. Okay, what are the things that you can do when you get angry for whatever the reason? Now, let's say you are someone who cannot practice what you know. Actually, what we can do for the anger, there are things to learn about how to do the process. One very important thing is metta. Metta means loving kindness. Can you practice metta when you are angry? Huh? Have you done that? Huh? Difficult. Why is it? You have crossed the boundary already. You are on a road. Now there are traffic lights. Now it's already there is no more what do you call, the amber is going to be. The red light is going to happen, so you must continue. You must continue your driving. You can't stay there. If you are staying there, you will be clashed with the oncoming traffic on the side. So you cannot practice metta when you are angry. That means metta is a pre-practice for the anger. It is a pre-practice. That means you have to do it before you get angry, not when you are angry, right? It's like you want to have a good meal, you have to pre-order. You cannot just go and ask, hey, make it for me in a minute of time. So, metta. Then, what can we do when we are angry? That is very important. A lot of people cross the boundary all the time. What can we do? We can do something called, this is a Western mindfulness process, RAIN methodology. RAIN means rain, but this has a different meaning. R-A-I-N. RAIN means recognize. Recognize. You have to recognize your emotion at that point. Your angry, hatred, those are emotions. The next thing that you must do after recognizing is accept. You have to accept that you are angry. I am angry. Right? Once you accept your anger, then what you should do? You have to investigate that anger in multiple ways. Physically, psychologically, emotionally, practice-wise, you have to investigate. We will discuss them later. N means, very importantly, non-identification. That means when we are angry, we are trying to identify, relate us to the source of the anger. Right? How do we explain that? Now I told you an example. We were, there was a criticism 7:55 p.m., a dummy example. And then now you are thinking, I don't want to relate myself to that 7:55. I want to cut it, destroy the source of the anger, and I am here. And I am making a connection to become angry. I am going to cut that source away. I am not going to identify myself with the source of anger. I am going to cut it, and I'm going to non-identify. So if you feel you are angry, you can do this valuable method. What is it called? RAIN. It's not a very difficult acronym to think about. I think we can discuss that now. Okay. Doesn't matter where you are in your practice. Let's say you have a problem in your household. You have a difficult time with someone, and things are not happening the way you want, maybe for your own problems, for whatever the reasons, as a lack of your Dharma practice. Now this difficult emotion, anger, we can also say jealousy, maybe what are the other issues? Greed, whatever the bad emotions, they can arise anytime. Now in this case we pick anger. Once anger is arisen, you are going to recognize, what is this emotion? I think this is anger. I'm angry. When people are angry, they never think that they are angry. What they want to do? They want to defend their anger. But they do. No, it's okay to be angry. No, they did a very bad thing. I have to be angry. They are creating lot of millions reasons to become validated, to justify, right? So you understand, without validating your anger, without giving evaluation to your anger, no, this is anger, whatever, there may be reasons. There may be reasons that I can validate, but this is anger. At the end, this is anger. Right? And I recognize it. Recognizing alone is not enough. I have to accept that anger which I recognize has come to me now. It is with me now. Now, think for a moment, somebody told you in your household, whenever you become angry, look at you, you are so angry now. Not even that, you are going to Sutta study every week, and you go to a metta meditation class every Monday. What was the feeling you got when somebody reminded you? Were you trying to defend what you had as an anger? Or were you simply accepting, yeah, that's not a good thing, huh? Something wrong with me? Somewhere there is something wrong in my life. I might talk about a lot of big Dhamma things, but something is wrong with me. Or you were trying to defend your anger. That means you never accept. If you practice, then you recognize this is anger, and then you have to accept, I am angry. This is not a good thing. Third thing is that now, once you accepted your anger, you are going to investigate this anger in different ways. Why it came to me? Why I became like this? I have a good practice. I know a lot of good things. But I have this issue. This issue will stop my practice. This issue will stop me becoming a better person in the Dhamma. Dhamma is not a head knowledge. You can learn from many thousand books, but at the end you have to prove that you have them in your life. It's like what many people do. They learn, they write down, they take notes, they take photos, they record, they bring all the things into their house. Dhamma seed, but they never plant it. How to plant it? Is it a tree? Planting means practice, putting them into practice. It's like a meditation retreat. People meditate a lot, it's a very good thing. But the real meditation happens off the cushion, not on the cushion. You may go for a retreat, you may sit for a week, sit for a month, sit for every Wednesday, sit for every Tuesday, Monday, but real meditation is off the cushion in your real life. Right? So, now you are investigating your anger. How physically? How to investigate your anger physically? Tell me. How can you do it? How to investigate your anger physically? What are the things that happen to you when you are angry? That things that you can feel. Can you talk properly? Or you are like shaky, you know. There are people. You can't even talk. The words are not coming to your, coming out. How about your breathing? Is it normal at that time when you're angry? Is your breathing normal when you're angry? Heavy breaths. You are breathing with a lot of difficulties. Like a person who has asthma, you know. Person who has bronchitis, right? Why is it? You are not normal, you are abnormal. What are the other things you can notice when you are angry? You can't talk, and you are overreacting, you are overthinking. If you are driving, you may push the gas pedal a lot because you are angry. And what else? What can you see in your body? You are very disoriented, and you are not talking to your loved ones properly because you are thinking that how to take revenge, how to do things, right? So you are observing all the things that are happening in your body under the eye. Investigate your anger physically. That's very important. Then you are looking at what is happening to you when you're angry psychologically. Are you having good thoughts, or are you having very unwholesome akusala thoughts? Sometimes one angry thought can create a lot of other akusala thoughts. What are the examples for that? Let's say you are cheated by someone in your relationship, and you hear, and now you are angry. But the craziest part in that emotion is that the things you are going to do next, because you feel you are cheated, you are betrayed, you are not able to let go, then you are going to react to that person in different akusalas, right? So you are going to check what is happening to you in your thoughts, psychologically. Emotionally, how to evaluate, investigate your anger emotionally. What are the emotions that are coming into me? What is the Pali word for emotion? Emotion, sanya. Sanya. Sanya means memories. Are we living with memories, or are we living with what's happening in our daily life? If you look at 17 hours of not sleeping time, let's say you leave out 7 hours for sleep, and then if you look at your mentality and the thoughts that are coming to you and how your attitudes, perspectives are going on, are we mostly living with our memories, or are we creating wholesome thoughts? We are normally living with past memories, happy memories, then we are very happy, and then whenever the bad memories come to us, we want to, we are not happy for them who created them, and we have a lot of what if, should haves, could haves in our life. What if? Should haves, could haves means we are always thinking, going to the past and trying to evaluate the situation. Now it has gone, you can't do anything. But you are still trying to change your past, but you can't change the past. Rather, you accept and move on. Finally, that is what happens to us, right? Whatever the thing happens to us, what is left to us is to move on. If you don't move on, you can't be happy, right? So, investigate emotionally all the emotions that are coming to you as a product. And then finally, with all these things, you are going to deconstruct, cut the relationship with you and the source of the anger. We call it anatta, A-N-A-T-T-A, anatta. So this is what you can do when you are angry. Buddhist wisdom. All right. Emotionally and practice wise, because we all have a certain practice. So we are looking at what has happened to my practice at that point. Maybe something wrong. Practice means our practice is Noble Eightfold Path. So we can't be angry. That means we don't practice in the proper way. We are going to check in with the Noble Eightfold Path. Something wrong somewhere. We have to find it out. All right. Because of the timing, I'm going to share with you a couple of other ways to look at anger. Now you know something that you need to do before, and then something you can do during the time. I think I had to explain metta a little bit more. That's interesting. What is metta actually? Metta. Metta means loving kindness, but it's not explained properly. What is metta? Metta means unlimited friendliness. There are my students here in my sutta classes. They know already, but they have no excuses for not telling the truth. Unlimited friendliness. So this metta has to be practiced in 5 ways. First to oneself, then to loved ones, third to neutral people, neutral ones, fourth to difficult ones, finally to all living beings. There was a time that one monk during the Buddha's time always telling other monks, don't disturb me. There are monks like that, monastic members. And other monks asked, what's the problem? He said that I'm practicing metta, don't disturb me. Don't knock my door. I need more privacy. And then what happened? Some monks told others, we found a cobra in the temple. A snake came into the temple, Jetvanarama. So you got to be careful, where we don't know where he went. But we saw him somewhere in the property. Unfortunately, the monk who self-identified that he's doing a lot of metta, he was going somewhere at that time. He was bitten by that snake and he passed away. He died. So other monks were really uncomfortable because this monk was always saying he's practicing metta. Cobra attacked the monk who was saying that he's practicing metta. What happened? He passed away. And then they informed the Buddha. And then the Buddha said, yes, I know. He has been saying that he's been practicing metta. He did some metta, there's no problem. But there was a problem in his metta practice. Even though he practiced metta, he did not practice metta for 4 types of reptiles, snakes, call it Virupak. First group, Era Pata. Second snake group, Kanha Gautamaka. Third group, and Chabya Putta. One, two, three, four. Although he practiced metta in a general way, may I be well, happy, peaceful, may others be well, it's a very normal, normal kind of practice. But in order to practice metta, you have to practice it properly, according to the Metta Sutta and also some other suttas. So, he did not practice metta for these particular snakes groups. So the snakes did not feel his metta, so the snake attacked him. What does it mean? Depending on where you are living, you should understand who are the animals, who are the difficult people in your area, in your household. Now there was another reason, another story, real story. There was someone who was telling me, I've been practicing metta almost every day, but still I have problems in my household. There is someone in my household who is always making a problem. Then I asked, do you include that person in your metta practice? I don't include XYZ in my practice. Then I said, expect more mess in the future. Because the problem is unlimited friendliness, metta. It's not that you only practice metta to those who you love. You have to bring everybody into the practice. If you had practiced metta that way, this difficult person would have been kind to you. It's a feeling. I said from tomorrow, include that person without thinking the memories you had with that person. Don't think about the memories. If you feel that you cannot practice metta to this person, means it is your problem. You have only taken Dhamma in a certain marginalized fractional way. So, if you want to practice metta, you should practice in the 5 ways and also to all the difficult ones too. That's very important, right? Let's say you are living in an area where there are a lot of wild elephants. Then you have to bring them into your metta practice. May all these wild elephants, if you are living in maybe in Sri Lanka, Thailand or somewhere, just Africa, I feel that, may all these elephants be well and happy. They can feel that. They can feel it. So this metta has to be extended to these groups and also the difficult ones in your life, including other animals too. And in your metta practice, never exclude anybody. Include everyone. You may have some thoughts, you might not like them. It's okay, because that is their problem. You don't need to create hatred. If you create hatred, that stops your practice. That stops you in becoming a better person, because everybody wants to be better people. Don't need to get stuck in their life for other people's problems, right? All right, so pre-practice, it's a very big topic. I don't want to get in touch with that a lot. And then, simply speaking, RAIN, RAIN methodology for angry emotions you already have. So you can do it anytime. All right, what are the other things? Is it okay, is it good to practice a meditation every day for handling anger? Yes. What is the meditation? I would suggest you to do a combination of breath meditation and metta for at least 5 minutes every day. 5 minutes at least. How do we do that? Start with breath meditation. That means you are watching your breath. Once you are very calm, then you can do the metta properly. If you are not calm, if you are going to start metta, from metta, when the difficult people come to your mind, you will respond to them differently. So start with the breath meditation and then shift the focus onto the metta. That's very important. So keep it every day. That can really help you over time. Because Dhamma is not an overnight journey. You don't expect everything right by tomorrow morning. So a meditation, like daily meditation. And the other thing that is very helpful for us to overcome, not even managing is what we can do with these things. We have to overcome it, is that we have to create compassion for other people's problems, their emotional, mental life. When other people are angry about you, you don't need to be angry. Just be compassionate towards their life. But that is also part of our journey. Karuna. Karuna means you are thinking what is going on with this person's life. There are different people. So just because other person is like that, you don't have to be like that. Patience. Now patience is a very high emotion, high quality, which will arise in you when you have metta. The Buddha said all the good qualities, wholesome qualities, start from patience. I give you a very simple example. In order for you to learn how to manage anger in this today's talk, you have to sit like this almost for an hour. Is it a very easy thing? Are you sitting like this in your houses all the time? Unless you watch a YouTube's video. But even watching that YouTube video, you can't be like that. You just look there, look here and there. You want to change. You are very disoriented when it comes to the social media. Very disoriented. Change, autoplay, change, autoplay. But in order to learn a good thing today, you have to be like this. Patient. Patiently listen to this Dhamma talk and then to understand. That means in order for you to do any good karma, any good thing, you need to be patient. But unfortunately, many people are only patient when they go see a doctor, because they have to be a patient. The doctors call it, you are a patient, you can't see me that fast. I'm a specialist. But in our life, we have to be patient as much as we can. Then a lot of miracles happen in our life. Transformation happens when we are very patient. This patient quality is being developed within us when we manage anger, overcome anger as much as we can. And on the side, we develop loving kindness or unlimited kindness called metta. All right, and if you think that you have a very bad anger, very bad temper, what can you do? You go meet a spiritual person, Sangha member, right? Maybe a counselor. You should not consider it as a normal thing. It's a problem in your life, right? Otherwise, we will become a prisoner, right? Sometimes when we go to correctional facilities, I remember how many prisoners are sharing us stories. They were saying that if I had spent one more minute in that time I committed the wrong act, I would have not been here. Some are saying if I spend maybe 5 seconds in that thought moment, I would have not committed that bad crime. See the value of a second, see the value of a minute. That means they were not able to be in the company of a good person. So it is better, if you have a very bad temper, seek the professional support, meet someone who can really help you out. Overall, it's very important to minimize these issues by having Kalyana Mittas in your life. That is the changer of all these things. Those who have really good Kalyana Mittas, they have very, very well managed anger. Because they are unenlightened, still they may have a little bit, but their anger is very well managed. Who is a Kalyana Mitta? May I know? Kalyana Mitta means someone who is always thinking good thoughts, who is always speaking good words, who is always acting on good actions. That kind of a person is very necessary into our life. Because normally the people we are associating are those of them who are always telling whatever the thing that come to their mouth. And then they are saying, see, we are very straightforward people. Just anything that comes to my mind, I just blast it out. Is that a good thing? That's a problem in their life. The Buddha said, Pacca vekkitva, pacca vekkitva, pacca vekkitabba, pacca vekkitva, pacca vekkitta. He said, having reflected, you should speak. You should know what you talk. Having reflected, you have to think. Having reflected, you have to act. So that is not straightforwardness. That is a problem in their life. That is a very lower layer of their practice. So that's why we need a Kalyana Mitta. Kalyana Mittas are helping us. They can tell you, you have a problem, you have to fix it. Otherwise you are in a big issue. Right? Now there was someone I met in my retreats. Her problem was that she's always going to correct other people. And she's always getting blamed. And she's telling me, I know there's a problem in me. How to overcome this? I said, you don't have to worry about other people. Just mind your own business. That is their practice, unless they ask you an advice. And when you are practicing Dhamma, especially be very careful. You might get caught up with a certain perfectionism. We don't need to be, because who is perfect? Only the Buddha is perfect. We are trying our level best to be good people, but at times there are human errors. So we have to understand. That is why we need to develop some level of karuna, compassion. So a Kalyana Mitta is really helping us, but by not bringing us into this perfectionism and always trying to help us in the good way, in the proper way, with lots of compassion, like the Buddha. It is said that every morning Buddha is watching. Who can I help today? So we have to be like that, so we can be a better Kalyana Mitta to everybody. All right, I think you already understood certain ways to manage and overcome your anger. Most importantly, we talk about the sources of anger, and then we talked about these two things, not many things. I know you may be very basic in understanding these things. Metta practice, do it as an unlimited practice. Include everyone, include people you don't like. Don't create hatred, because you may not like what they think, what they do, but in your metta practice you need to include them. And so then develop your metta practice to a very good level. The more you practice metta, the better you are in not creating angry thoughts. Sadly speaking, unfortunately, if you get angry, whatever your lack of your practice, then practice RAIN, RAIN methodology. Recognize your anger, accept you are angry, investigate physically, psychologically, emotionally, practice-wise, and finally bring it to anatta, non-identified. It means don't identify that you were blamed, you were criticized. No, it was not me, it was my previous self. That previous self is not anymore existing. Cut the relationship between you and that angry event, and you are good in managing, overcoming your anger. All right, any questions about this topic today? Pardon me? Yes, maybe we can. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah. Can you give this mic to her? Yeah, because we are recording this thing. Let's take it close and
being patient, one can become more tolerant, or become more tolerant, and one become more patient. Which one comes first?
in patience one can become
More tolerant.
more tolerant.
So it's becoming with more patient, then you become more tolerant.
Yes.
It's not being more tolerant and you become
No, I
patient.
think they are very similar states of mind. Patience and tolerance, they are similar. So even you see that in English. I think when you are able to tolerate, you are creating a greater level of patience.
Yeah.
So they are the same state of mind. What I was trying to tell you was that when you're managing your anger, when you create more metta, you can be more patient. Patience is naturally arising.
Okay, thank you.
So if you don't have metta, you can't be patient. All right, other questions? You can give it to someone who asks you a question. Yeah. It's okay. Okay, there is a question, yeah.
I'm quoting a case. For example, if about married couples, if the husband is cheating the wife and the wife is very angry, so there will be a lot of this raw anger and no rain. It can be otherwise. It can be the other side also, or a wife who is not so the other side, wife and husband. So how do we manage in that situation if the heated argument is very, very challenging and it's very serious and very loud? What is the immediate situation to manage this and long term? Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Heated arguments between a couple happen due to not having enough trust between each other. That's a initial primary problem. That means their love has fallen out. Their love that they had at the beginning has fallen out in a certain way. Okay? That is the first thing that they have to work out. The second thing is that, let's say now they are into a very heated, bad argument. So, both are not giving each other a chance to talk. They're becoming two cats, they are trying to fight each other. So, my suggestion for that kind of a couple is that just listen to the other person, because you both want to, if you are really looking at your relationship, you really want to sort out the problem. And you also talk, he also talk, you are not going anywhere. Both of you are stuck. So just listen to that person and then think about and look at. So I think one has to listen. That's the thing that they can do. One has to listen and then look for a good time to talk about, to give your response to whoever. Because we know a lady might be struggling with her emotions, a man might be struggling with his ego. So ego and emotions, they are in trouble. When the man is with full ego, even though you have a bunch of emotions, he will not listen to you. Vice versa. So one has to stop, one has to understand this is not a good game to play, and I have to listen, even maybe the husband, maybe the lady, and then think about what he said, what she said, and plan your answer in a very wise way, and then plan for a good time to discuss with him or her and sort it out. Otherwise, when both are in a very heated argument, if both are trying to argue each other over and over, that doesn't make any sense. That means that initially they have no trust, their love has fallen away, both are not respecting each other. So there are a lot of fundamental breaches, right? A lot of breaches have already happened. So if you want to save that marriage, if you want to save the relationship, stop talking, listen to the other person, vice versa, either person who has some level of patience, who really want to protect the relationship, and then to address it later. Because when we are very angry, we don't know what we are really talking. We might pick on certain couple of things, but then we are adding things because of our frustration. Yeah, so that's very important to think about. Just listen to the other person. That's a very big sacrifice if you can do that, you know. And you want to really work on that. Any other questions about how to manage anger and all that? We have another 5 minutes. You have a question, please.
Then if we send metta, can we just send to all beings?
We send metta to
All beings.
okay.
Yeah, instead of point to certain people.
No, we have to break it into groups. Don't go to the all living beings.
Is it a must?
First. Yeah.
Thank you.
Otherwise, how you practice metta if you don't practice to you? How you understand what I'm going to give to other person? It's like you are going to think about giving money today to someone without checking how much money in your pocket. You don't check your wallet, how much money inside. But you want to give it to other people. Can you give money? I don't think. You have to check how much money you got. And then in order for us to understand how much metta we can give to others, we have to create that for us and then to our loved ones. So we know how much metta we have. Now when you think about you, personally, we know how much metta do we need every day. There are people who don't take care of themselves, who don't eat well, who don't sleep well. So you are trying to create lots of metta, that way you are creating a lot of self-care. And then you are thinking, may my loved ones also have the same self-care. May the neutral people, maybe the person who is in the reception counter in the grocery shop. I have no likeness, I have no dislikeness. Neutral person, I also want to give metta to that person. We slowly go to that level. It's like trying to swim the deep ocean without even swimming in a small river. Not possible. You get stuck in the ocean. Always start from us. The Buddha said that way. Then you understand how much metta we are doing to other people. Have you practiced the way that you said to us?
I have been practicing metta for many years, but I don't feel sending to people. So I always send to all.
What is the difficulty in sending to?
Somebody that you respect, when you want to send to respect, then it's to be also that you need to respect. Difficult to choose.
No, we have no selections in the metta practice. Finally, we are very choiceless because we don't have to break people away that I give metta only to these people. We have to give it to everybody finally. That's a real metta. Otherwise, we customize our own metta practice. We can't do that. All right, any other questions?
Yes, Bhante. Normally we are told that we have to charge ourselves first. That means send metta to ourselves.
Normally,
We have to charge ourselves. That means we have to send metta to ourselves before we send it out to others.
Yeah.
Is that right?
yeah, that's a very good way to look at it. I mean, if we don't feel we have metta, how to give it to other people? So we have to create enormous metta within us and then to send to other people. Finally it becomes an energy. It's an energy. You know, look at the opposite side of this issue. I met someone in a retreat, and she was saying that she was betrayed by the boyfriend. This happens, time to time, anyway. And then what happened at the end was that then she cursed him. How she cursed him was that, may you ever be single. May you never be able to find a man. And then she said, Bhante, it has worked out. He's still single. Then she's asking, do I still have metta? I said, by cursing someone, how come you are asking me that you have metta or not? That's a bad idea, that's a metta. That's a problem. If people betray you, that means they are not suitable for you. Just let them go. Your love has fallen out with that person. Just let them go. Move on with your life. So that means curse, the opposite of the metta, curse those bad wishes. If they are going to work in a certain way, then how much power metta could be generated if we really practice it. It depends on how much we can create. All right, any other questions about today's topic? We were talking about Buddhist wisdom on managing anger in the moment. It's a very expanded topic, but I just simplified what you wanted to learn. We looked at how anger arises, and then at the same time, the more we understand the sources of anger, the better we can overcome it. At the same time, we learn about two things to do with regard to anger, managing, overcoming. One is a pre-practice, the other one is a during practice. And there's one more. I think we can finish with that thing. Now this is a pre-practice. This RAIN methodology is a during practice. And the last one is a post-practice. What is it? Now you have been angry and it has costed you a lot. What has costed you? Emotionally, then sometimes financially. There are people who just become very furious without thinking, and then they are laid off by the employer. And sometimes there are other things that can happen, right? So now you are doing what you call a review about your emotional management, kind of a review. I sometimes ask people, can you do anger journaling, That means when you become angry, don't do anything, go and write down what are the thoughts that come to your mind, write down. And then when you are normal, go and read what you wrote down. And you will see how evil can you become. That is a good review. So, anger journaling is one thing, right? And another way is that you can certainly go back to the certain emotion and have a certain kukucha, certain remorse, regret not to become sad, just to acknowledge what you did in the past or yesterday in the past. By understanding, by acknowledging you were angry for a very petty, very unnecessary thing, you are going not to repeat that emotion. So do a review. So a pre-practice, that is metta, during practice, this is RAIN methodology, and post-practice is a review of that anger emotion. So all these three ways are really helping you to become a very peaceful person. All right, I hope that There are no more questions, so we are going to then wrap this up by sharing all the good karmas. May all the good karmas which we've been making today by listening to this Dhamma sharing on how to overcome anger and how to create more metta, how to practice metta in the proper way, be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy, and may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. At the same time, may all the good karmas be shared by all the devas, nagas and mahitikas who are protecting all of us. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika be well and happy. May they protect all of us. Monastic members here, all the lay people, all the people who have gathered here to listen to this Dhamma sharing, to deepen, to improve their Dhamma knowledge, Dhamma understanding. So may Deva, Naga, Mahidika be well and happy, and then protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity and safety. May they in particular bless our Dhamma journeys. May our Dhamma journeys become a very consistent, constant, seamless practice, not a very stagnated Dhamma practice. A stagnated Dhamma practice means a practice you learn today, but tomorrow you forget everything, you become lazy, and in a month of time come back for another Dhamma talk, and then again you fall out of the Dhamma practice. Dhamma practice has to be a constant practice, a seamless practice. Finally, may Deva, Naga, Mahidika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tuluka sasanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tudesanang. Akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tumang paranti chirang rakkang tutwang sadati. At the same time, at the end of any good karma, we are making a great wish, or we are deepening, sustaining our wish. Our wish is in the directionless sansaric journey. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mittas, noble friends. We do understand Kalyana Mittas do support us, help us develop, sustain, maintain our Dhamma practice. Solo Dhamma practice not enough. We need group practice. We need the support, influence of other people. So may we be able to be in the company of noble friends, Kalyana Mittas, who can support our practice all the time. Thinking thus, we're going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu tu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning Dhamma, I think you are so empowered, encouraged, motivated, inspired to bring your metta practice, anger management practice to the next level after this talk. Please do so and then get the benefit of the Dhamma in your real life. May all the good karmas finally be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddhapachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's the end of our Dhamma talk today, and tomorrow also we have a Dhamma talk at 9 o'clock. I think she will explain to you. I think. Thank you.
On behalf of Kuching Dharma Buddhist Center, we would like to express our thanks to Bhante for tonight's Dharma talk. We would also like to express our thanks to Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammika, abbot of Kuching Dharma Buddhist Center, Kuching Dharma Vijaya Buddhist Center, for arranging tonight's Dharma talk. As a gesture of appreciation, let us pay respect to the venerables.
Sukhi Hotu, may you be well and happy. Wishing you a good night.
Let us now pay respect to the Triple Gem.
Now turn off. Yeah, turn off.